Hey everyone. Well, if you follow my videos, you may remember recently I had a 2000 Chevy Silverado Z71 four-wheel drive on the property. I was being hired to replace a bad transmission in it. Well, this ain't it. Bit of a story going on with the four-wheel drive. For whatever reason, however it come to be, there was an issue with the person that was buying it from the local car lot, and I don't know exactly what the deal was, but the car lot gentleman who sold it to him knew me and called me and said, "Hey, have you done any work on the pickup?" And I said, "Not much." He said, "Please don't continue." And the truck is in repossession status, so the four-wheel drive is gone. Don't know if the lot's going to be having me do the transmission replacement or not, but in any event, I also mentioned I had another project coming on the property, and here it is. This is an 11 of 87, which makes it an 88 Ford Bronco II, and it is, I can remember here, it is 80 Bauer edition. So this Bronco belongs to a lady I know. She's, I call her Lefty because she's not an amputee, but she's only got one arm, her left. She's having some financial difficulties. In any event, this is her vehicle, and she was supposed to be buying a car, but for whatever reason that went south, and so now this is down again. I've done some work in the past on this. Replaced the water pump on it, did a few other little things. She was planning on fixing it to sell. It is a four-wheel drive, of course, but now we got to get it back up and running. So we're looking at flywheel is bad. It's got a section of teeth on the flywheel where when you shut down the engine, if it happens to stop at that precise point, it will not turn over to restart. So we're going to pull the transmission and get that flywheel off and get that straightened out. You know, it's an old Bronco II. It's a little rough. To date, I've never pulled one of these transmissions out of a Bronco. In fact, I know very little about working on these. I've never actually done a Bronco before, but I do know that I've been told by a lot of folks that let me see if the camera will zoom. Well, probably too dark in here to catch that, but the automatic four-wheel drive system on the Bronco II, as I understand it, is a total pain in the ass. It's a total piece of shit. I don't know if that's true, but this one does not work correctly. It does not want to engage and then disengage correctly, and from what I understand, it never has since the day she got it. This particular vehicle says on the mileage 742,222 and almost 1, so I'm going to think that's probably 174,222.1 miles. That's what I'm going to think it is. So anyway, never pulled the transmission on a Bronco II before. I've pulled them on a Ranger before with a four-wheel drive, so I'm thinking it ain't going to be awful too bad. And I do know that I think it's got a rear main seal leak. I replaced a few other seals on this in the past, and of course, as I mentioned previously, it's got a brand new water pump on there, which everything still looks dry. On there, I see no evidence of additional leakage from the water pump, so that's a good thing. So, as you can see, we're underneath now, and everything here looks just as greasy as I remember it. The starter is recently new. Did have to jerry-rig to get the starter on there, which I will explain what I had to do that later on. Some idiot damaged it. Getting this transmission out don't look like it's going to be too much of a pain in the butt, with one possible exception. The catalytic converter, I believe, is an obstruction. Might be able to work around it, but maybe not. We got that skid plate to pull, transmission cross brace to get out, and I think I could get to all the bell housing bolts from underneath. I hope so. But anyway, I'm gonna start pulling this transmission out as soon as I can, so I get the flywheel off and replace it. Looks like there's obviously still leakage going on here. The oil filter is soaked to hell. Oil pan is soaked. That drop right there, as this vehicle was running last time, is an indicator that I think that the rear main was leaking, because it accumulates pretty good right around this seam when the engine's running, especially when it's hot. Of course, it's I'll tell where one leak starts and the other one starts, because this whole freaking Bronco's a damn mess under here. But anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing, is pulling this transmission out and getting a new flywheel, or a good used flywheel for it anyway. So before I get out from underneath this Bronco, because my battery's about half dead, which I understand they're brand new, this stupid formation on the transmission pan, I didn't know that this was going to be here, which means doing my little redneck transmission jack ain't going to work without jacking the hell out of that pan. So I'm going to have to come across something, find another way to get this transmission out of here without damaging that. But anyway, we'll figure this out and get this transmission squared away. So there it is, our Bronco II project. I hate to think that I'm on a clock to get this done quick, but I know at the moment she's without a vehicle, so I'll try and get it done as quickly as I can. Well, thanks for watching. Comments always welcome.